Thank you very much, Mike. Well, we have some breaking news to tell you about. We just received some of the new specifics about what is going to be in the president's national COVID address that takes place this afternoon. The president is going to require vaccines for all federal workers and contractors. Of course, this is part of a stepped up effort to rein in the Delta variant. And of course, we also expect a big push, too, for private employers to do the same, require these vaccines.
Yeah, so that begs the question, will companies then require their workers to get the shot as part of their employment agreement? We want to bring in attorney Brian Weinthal, a good friend to us here. Good day. He's with Burke & Warren here in Chicago. Brian, let's get right into this because you specialize in labor law. President's already sort of leaked part of what he's going to talk about, and he has mentioned American history repeating itself, that in days past, workers were asked to get vaccinated against smallpox and measles and polio. So this time around with COVID, are employees going to find any cover here?
We don't know yet because we don't have all the specifics of what the president will say, but here's what I think we're going to see, Scott. I don't think you're going to hear the president mandate vaccination requirements into private industry. What I do think is that the president will tie a vaccine mandate for private businesses into some type of federal funding. Let me give you an example. The president has already encouraged all nursing home employees across the country to get vaccinated, and to do that, he's conditioned the receipt on certain federal monies under both Medicaid and Medicare to those private businesses. As we know, one of the biggest spends out there is federal educational money. So I would not be surprised if the president turns and says that federal educational monies are going to be conditioned in some way on the institutions that receive them, putting vaccine mandates in place for their educators and teachers for purposes of receiving those funds. So I think it's going to be a policy of incentives, sticks and carrots, if you will, rather than actual orders that private businesses adopt, because the White House has already said it doesn't think it has the authority to order that directly to private business.
Yeah, and maybe they'll try to do it with government. But here in Chicago, you know, the mayor has mandated that city employees get the vaccine. And already the FOP is pushing back because they're saying their union members put their lives on the line every day and they're not going to be forced to take it. Of course, there's this concern that, you know, many are willing to quit or be fired. And that would leave the city in a very dangerous position. I mean, we don't have to tell you how bad things here in Chicago are with the crime, and any reduction in our police force could mean even more violence, possibly even cost businesses a loss in customers who won't come to the city. So how does an employer like a government, you know, what do they need to consider when they're weighing the options about these mandates when it comes to especially their union employees?
Well, that was a lot in one question. You know, let me see if I can break it down.
Leave it to me to give it to you, right?
As best I can. So let me start from the big picture item. The big picture item is that it's unfortunate that we don't have greater national or federal authority to set mandates for vaccination or even safety requirements. As I was just saying, the federal government probably is not going to be ordering private businesses to do anything because that authority is typically reserved to the states. In some states, like our state, the governor has already put orders in place for requiring mandatory vaccination in certain industries, education, healthcare, that kind of thing. But the problem, of course, at the same time is you have to remember there are at least 14 states that have passed what we would consider to be the opposite of that, an anti-vaccine mandate of some kind. And because there is no nationally recognized vaccine passport of some kind that will give us good information on who's vaccinated and who isn't, it continues to be on the state authorities to make those calls. As to what the balance of harms is by putting a vaccine mandate in place, the big one for everyone, be it a private business, be it a public sector entity right now, is the incredible labor shortage that we have going on. Most employers in ordinary circumstances would think it was relatively easy to mandate something like this because the vaccines are inherently safe, they protect people, and they would allow us to go back to some semblance of normal business. The problem, though, is if you're really willing to fire those employees who don't get it, you're very quickly going to find yourself undermanned and understaffed to the point where you simply can't operate. In fact, most businesses are almost already at that point with the current labor shortage.
It's a great point. Yeah, I hate to cut you
off.
off. We've run over. But I would argue we're at the tip of the iceberg here, and this is a conversation we need to have again and again. United just mandated that even those with religious exemptions are going to get a pay cut or not be paid if they use that card. So there's a lot more to cover here, but we're out of time. Brian Weinthal from Burke & Warren, always a pleasure, sir.
Always a pleasure to see you guys. Thank you.
All right.